Hi, James. Yesterday I said in the video that I would maybe potentially do some other two-step problems that may be more helpful to you or just as helpful to you. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm gonna send this video as well. Okay, so we have a couple concepts that we're gonna work on. So two-step equations. These are more multi-step equations, but so you have to kind of set them up. So step one, and we're gonna talk about each one of these. You only do step one and step two if needed. So you distribute if needed. We're going to talk about what that looks like. Combine like terms if needed. And then step three and step four, just like we did yesterday, we're going to add or subtract our constant, which is our number by itself, and we're going to solve by multiplying or dividing by the coefficient, which is a number attached to the variable. So the first thing you want to do, because each equation problem is probably going to be different, so you just have to analyze it. When I mean by distribute, that means that when it has a parenthesis. So if you see a number with a parenthesis in front, that number has to be multiplied to every number inside that parenthesis. What you have to do, though, is you have to insert an invisible one in front of any variable that does not have a number in front of it. So there's an invisible one here, but in math, we recognize that it's invisible, but when we distribute, I want you to write it. So I'm placing my invisible one there. And what I mean by parentheses means multiply. So I'm gonna multiply that 2 by every number inside of that parentheses. Okay? So the first thing I'm gonna say is I'm gonna say 2 times 1 is gonna give me 2, and I'm gonna bring the variable with it. Put my plus sign. Everything step by step in math. Then I'm gonna do 2 times 5. So 2 times 5 will give me 10. So that means that I'm through distributing that 2, multiplying that 2 to every number inside. Then everything else I'm going to bring down with it. So that's a plus 3x equals 20. So now I'm going to really look at this as being the beginning of my math problem. So then now I want to draw my line, my balancing line. Now, that's the distribution. Combine like terms. Like terms are variables that are exactly alike. They have the exact same variable, exact same exponent if there's an exponent. So you see how these x's are exactly the same? So basically what you're saying, like I have, like say, so this 2x would look like x. And then another 3 x's. So you're adding those together. So what do you have? These two together will give you 5x. So I'm doing this one and this one. And then I'm just bringing down the plus 10 and everything else equals 20. Now, this is exactly like we did yesterday. So all you have to do, remember the inverse of addition is subtract. We always start the number by itself first or the number first. So or the constant first. So then I'm going to subtract 10 on both sides, exactly like we did yesterday. I'm going to bring down my 5x here. I'm going to strike through this, put my equal sign, and I'm going to say 20 minus 10 is going to give me 10. And then just like yesterday, I'm going to be dividing by my 5 because the inverse of multiplication is division. So my answer is x equals 2. Okay. Doesn't matter where the distribution is, as long as you do it. So again, so I'm analyzing my problem. So I'm looking, and I do have a number in front of a parentheses. I do have a variable with no number in front, so I'm going to insert my invisible 1 there. And then I'm going to do exactly, I'm going to draw so I make sure that I get everything. Okay? So then now I'm going to rewrite this. So I'm just bringing my negative 3x down. That's what the first thing I see. Put my plus sign, and then I'm multiplying. 5 times 1 will give me 5. X goes with it, plus sign, and then 5 times 3 will give me 15 equals 23. Now, if you look here, this is going to be a little bit different. I have x's, right? But I have 3 negative x's and then 5 positive x's. So I'm going to do my 3 negative x's like this. So I'm going to try to do it off to the side right over here. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do my 5 positives right below it for this one. So I want to strike through, and I'm going to be left with 2 positive x's. So this is 2x. So when I combine these two things, I end up with positive 2x plus my 15. Oh, don't forget my balancing line. Sorry about that. And then I'm back at my two-step equation. So again, I have 2x plus 15 equals 23. The inverse of addition is subtraction. So what do I write here? This comes down. My goal was to get rid of it, put my equal sign. And I'm going to say 23 minus 15 is going to give me 8. And then I'm going to do what? Divide by my 2. So my x equals 4. And I'm going to do this. Okay. Let's move on to number 3. So number 3, I'm distributing again. And when I analyze this, I do have, need to put my invisible 1 here. Here's also something else. Okay, subtractions is the same thing as plus negatives. So what do I mean by that? And I'm going to do a little thing like off to the side over here. What I mean by that is, and I know this video may be a little bit longer, 2 plus 3, 2 minus 3 is going to give me, so I have 2 and I'm taking away 3, so I don't have enough, so that's going to give me a negative 1. That's the same thing as 2 plus negative 3. It's still 2, and I'm adding a negative 3. I still don't have enough, so I'm going to leave me with still only 1. So I need you, especially when you get to higher level math, you're going to have to start recognizing that subtractions are plus negatives. So look at what I'm going to change. I'm going to take the subtraction I'm going to make it a plus sign, and I'm going to take my number and I'm going to make it a negative, because that's going to make it easier when we distribute. And so then I'm going to draw, because I know my 2 needs to go to that 1, and my 2 needs to also go to that negative 5. It just accounts for you making an error, or anybody making an error. It makes it easier. So I'm going to write this 3x down here. What happens to my nail? I don't know. So 3x plus 2 times 1 will give me 2. X, put my plus sign, and then 2 times negative 5 will give me negative 10, which equals 25. And then I'm going to draw my balancing line. Now, I have 3x plus 2x, which will combine together and give me what? 5x plus negative 10 equals 25. And then I'm back to doing what I do. But this is a negative 10. Remember, you got to look at negatives like subtractions. So basically, this is being subtracted, so I'm going to have to add 10 on both sides. And then I'm going to bring my 5x down, equals 25 plus 10 to give me 35. Divide by 5, divide by 5. So x equals 7. Now, if you look at this other one, I don't have to distribute, but I do have to combine like terms because I have 3x plus 4x. So when I combine these together, that's going to give me what? 7x plus 5 equals 19. Back to my two-step equation. So what am I going to do? This is add, so I'm going to subtract 5. And then I'm going to put my 7x. Goals get on the other side. 19 minus 5 will give me 14. And then I'm dividing by 7, both sides. And so then I end up with x equals 2. That's my answer. 14 divided by 7. Over here, when I look here, oh, you only want to do plus negatives. You don't ever mess with, like if it's a beginning, that's just a negative right there. That's a subtraction, but I'm going to turn that subtraction into a what? Plus negative. It just makes it easier when I combine things. So I'm going to combine these, so I end up with 2 negative numbers. So basically, when I end up with 2 negative things, they're all going to be the same. So that means if I put these together, I'm going to do negative 7. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to do negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All these are the same color. That means I'm going to add them together. So that means that that's going to be a negative 12. And the x comes with it. Plus 8 equals negative 16. You're back at your two-step equation. And then, I don't know why that line's so crazy. So then now, from here, what am I going to do? Subtract my 8, because that's add. And then I'm going to bring this down. So I'm going to end up with negative 12x. Go away. Equals, again, just like up here, both of these are negative. So that's negative 24. And then I'm going to divide by negative 12. Because you have to divide by whatever the sign is of the number. So this would be x equals negative divided by negative is a positive. All right. Now, this should be helpful for to complete the rest of your two-step. All right, thank you.